Hello, this is Dominique, and today we are going to cover the use of the pen tool in Photoshop. Um, Forgive me for any squeaks or anything you guys might hear because my desk is a little noisy. But yeah, we're gonna do selections in Photoshop using the pen tool. So let's get started. So the first thing to note right now, okay, we have this tool right here. I believe it's the move tool. Yeah, move tool selected. But what we want is our pen tool. Now you notice move tool has V next to it, but we want pen tool. See, move tool says V in parentheses there. We want pen tool. Pen tool is P. Notice it highlighted down here. Pen tool P. All right, and this is gonna help us make a selection. So the reason I did this, I actually tried it a couple times using quick selection and just other methods of doing this, but I was having some difficulty down here in this area because the background right here is the same color just about as the foreground that I'm trying to select. So I figured I'll just do a nice little pen tool uh, video so that, it's kind of like a two birds, one stone. So this is Doris Miller, and we're going to do a veteran story post on him. Notice I just clicked right down here, and I dropped my my first, I think it's called waypoint. I don't know what it's called, to be honest. But anyway, that's the start of my path. And so I'm going to click right here, and notice this is the line. And the cool thing about the pen tool is that you can click somewhere on the line, and then you drag to make the curve. And then so it like stops here and starts going out to make another curve. So I'll just click on the other side and drag. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Sometimes zooming in more doesn't actually help because you lose track of the um, the bigger picture of what it is you're like working on. So um, also, these little handlebars, you can actually grab them and move them. And that's important because as you do that, it helps control the direction of the next line that you're about to make. So for instance, if I grab this handlebar and pull it out over here, the next time I drop, man, I don't know the official term for it. I used to know it. Waypoint, I guess I'm just gonna call it. Drop a point right here. It's gonna start coming out this way and then go over here. So let's try it. See, notice how it's going way off the wrong direction. We don't want that. What we actually want is for this thing to be going in this direction. See? So it kind of, you want to make sure your handlebars are heading in the right direction. And sometimes when in order to get this curve correct, um, you have to pull the handlebar out to a place where when you need to do the next curve, it's not well positioned for that curve. So that's when I would go and push. Oh, by the way, in order to get this little caret arrow thingy, you push Alt key, Alt, and then grab that handlebar, and then you can adjust it. And you can pull it out that way and back. Yeah, it's good enough for government work, right? Um, So there's that. And then this one's probably going to be okay where it's at. And then this one should be fine. What our goal here is to try to get an realistic feeling curve. One of the problems here is that, actually as a sailor myself, I actually used to wear this uniform and it would get wrinkled up at the bottom here. And so you see all these wrinkles. And I mean, technically we don't really need to deal with them so much, but I mean, I want, this guy's a hero. I want to do a good job for him. So, you know, we're going to go through it and do the work. This might take a while, but, I'll try to do it as fast as I can. It's not going to be 100% accurate, um, but it should be a fairly reasonable approximation of the wrinkles on his uniform. Huh. Yeah, we're getting there. It's slow work. And it'll get easier up toward the top though, because once we get past these wrinkles and stuff, it's it's much easier. The interesting thing is that you actually don't have to make it perfect. It just has to look accurate when, somebody who's looking at the resulting graphic takes a look at it. So this is, you do your best, but like nobody's gonna know if you clipped off part of the uniform a little bit. So if you know, I usually when I wanted to do a really accurate job, I would be a lot further zoomed in, and you know, I would be taking great pains to make it more accurate. But um, the likelihood that anybody's going to notice that this isn't entirely perfect is pretty low. So now, as you see, it's getting a lot straighter. So I'm getting to the point where I could probably just kind of go a little bit inside of the uniform and drop some points here. You still want to put a little bit of curve on it because I mean, if you go from wrinkly, wrinkly, and then to nothing but straight lines, it's gonna look a little off-putting. But we're at the point now where we can kind of power through it a little bit faster. And if you're wondering, I'm using my mouse to scroll through the picture. So sorry, I lost my last waypoint. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Cool. And notice, like, I when I go to a curve, sometimes what I like to do is, make sure this handlebar here is pointed in the direction of the curve, like in the direction my next line is going to have to go. And then I'll hop over on the other edge of the curve, and then I'll drop a point there and see if I can pull into that curve. And the cool thing is, although I know that if I let go here and drop another point, it's going to come in, I don't have to worry about that because I know I can go Alt and then just adjust this to wherever I need it. And notice I have a perfect shoulder curve right there. So no big deal. Got this little curve. Oopsies, there we go. And then go up to here. Bit of a curve going around here. I like to go around the curve and then just draw it, pull it in. You'll get the hang of it eventually. Go around the, man, I forgot what this thing is called. It's I don't even remember why they have this little cape looking dealy on the back of these uniforms. It's been so long since I had to wear one. All right, so now if you just drop a point here, if it's a really sharp angle, you can just drop a point right there, and you can actually move it around with your arrow keys and get it right where you want it. And so now I have it exactly on the edge, and now I just start, make sure you get it to go along with the contours of his face. This one, I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna be a little nitpicky here and grab this handlebar and move it to be at the right angle of his jawline. Yeah, that's looking good. And then make sure we bring it around to get that curvature. And then I'm gonna go up and I think drop a point right here and then start working on the ear. I think maybe we're right around here. No, I'm not ready. He's not high enough yet. There we go. So you want to get like right up into the corner there and then start your curves. course, I get a phone call in the middle of this video. Why wouldn't I? Alright, gonna keep going around the ear. And just try to make sure you get the curves. I'll make another point here about the ears. You know, do your best, but you'll have to keep in mind that, you know, there's not like some ear police out there that are gonna like be able to tell that you totally jacked up their ears. um, you know, as long as you do a relatively decent job on the ears, I mean, nobody's gonna know whether or not it was done perfectly. So, you know, that looks good enough. Yeah, like it can be hard to get all the perfect angles around the ears and stuff like that. So do your best. This little hat. I've seen people screw this hat up before. It's a Dixie cup, I believe we called it. Anyway, um, yeah, it goes all the way around in a big circular thing. It gets a little easier to do up toward the top because it's like a big circle or oval. Notice you can pull that handlebar out as far as you need to. Keep in mind that at this point you can still move this waypoint. I think it's called a waypoint, honestly. I don't remember what it's called. And then of course, also, I mean, this actually might work, but let's try. Let's see for a second. Yeah, that worked where that handlebar was. I was gonna go back and readjust the handlebar, but I think it's good where it's at. And that one's good. This is going well, actually. I'm gonna get rid of these stupid properties in my way. All right, that's nice. I want to bring that down a little bit. There we go. And again, nobody's gonna really know if you didn't include every last bit of this hat, you know. So go ahead. I mean, get as close as you can to the edge, but you know, don't sweat it if you don't get it perfectly. I think, you know, for the most part, the goal here is to get nice, you know, nice edges. This one's a bit too far away. All right. And you know, watch your angles. You don't want to like have some random hump, you know. Oh, oops. Like just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, and if you grab the back handlebar, notice I've been adjusting the front handlebar, but if you grab the back handlebar, um, you can change the previous curve. Whereas what I was doing is adjusting. So far, I had been adjusting the front handlebar, and like I said, you want it to go in the direction of where well, you usually want this to go in the direction of where your line is heading. There are reasons why you'd want to move it elsewhere, but I'm not really gonna do that right now. Yeah, see, I was trying to line it up with this, but if I did, it's gonna kind of screw it up. It's putting a little hump there. So technically, one thing that I can do is go into my history. Yeah, they're called anchor points, not waypoints. All right, cool. I can go in here and refine that, and so that I'm actually following the contour of the hat better. There we go. And so follow this. Notice it's coming in and then going out. I'm screwing this up. So it may be that what I need to do is just not worry about that edge and just kind of follow it a little further inside so that it doesn't look all funky. Notice I had to like really pull that in order to get it to curve the way I wanted it. I don't really like to have my handlebars super far out there usually because it has an impact on the next curve that you draw. So usually try to pull them in a little bit if they're way far out there. And again, we got the ear. It's kind of a really sharp edge, so I'm going to just drop a point right there. And I can probably go over here all the way on the far side of this and see if I can pull the curve over it. That's not bad. All right. And then notice the handlebar doesn't really point in the direction of the ear outline, so I'm going to grab it and I'm going to point it in the correct direction so that when I get the next one, I can follow the ear around. Having skill with the pen tool is very useful. It allows you to cut out pretty much anything from anywhere. I will say that I don't use it all the time. Only in cases where I like have a really hard, like there's not enough contrast for me to use a quick selection tool and throw a mask on there really easy, because I try to get stuff done quickly. And this, as you can tell, is not going quickly. This is for like really detailed work. Um, and you know, and I use it in cases where, like I was showing you earlier, the background, the thing that I'm trying to cut it out of, doesn't have enough contrast between it and the subject that I'm trying to cut out. So it makes it so it's difficult to do like a quick selection. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Vice trying to do just like a quick selection and then a select and mask. There, I think. I mean, I'm not a pro. I've pretty much just taught myself how to use this tool. So I'm sure there are other methods that can get this done more quickly, but this is definitely a tried and true method as well. So you won't go wrong by learning how to use the pen tool. And we're getting down the other side. I feel like I kind of have to narrate this because otherwise you're going to get super bored just watching me. I don't have the time and energy to make like a video with a bunch of with cool music in the background and like you know increase the rate of speed in the middle of it so that I'm doing like 2x, like a time lapse. I don't know how to do that stuff. I'm not a video guy. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to watch this whole thing. One note though, and this may help you in your future endeavors when trying to learn something, say on YouTube. Um, I One thing that I do, especially with repetitive stuff or things like this where it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just over and over the same thing. You can always bump up the speed, uh, the playback speed on a YouTube video to 2x to help you get through it a little faster. That's what I do on YouTube and also lynda.com. I'll bump the speed up to like 2x and like really power through it because I don't have time for long videos. Thankfully, it's still pretty straight edges. Oopsie. Okay, there we go. Yeah, cool. All right. Gonna pull this handlebar back over here. Go around here. And now I'm getting to a point where it's kind of hard to tell the big. Like I said, if you get too far in and you start to lose track of the big picture, like what is connected to what. What am I actually tracing around here? I don't know what I'm doing. Um, And notice here, I'm pulling the handlebar way off of the contour that I'm trying to trace. But again, like I said, I'll just pull it right back after I get the angle that I'm trying to get, or the curve that I'm trying to get, that is. So now, yeah, I'm getting to the point where I need to like actually look at what I'm doing a little bit sometimes. I mean, look closer, that is. That's what I meant to say. I'm getting these little angles. The wrinkles are back. And like I did before, I'm going to do my best with these wrinkles, but you know. I think I'm almost done. Zoomed out to this level, it's kind of hard for you to see what I'm doing, I think. But yeah, I think we're past most of the wrinkles, so I'm going to switch back to straight lines. Well, you know, curved straight lines. There we go. Got another couple of wrinkles here. See what I can do to get around that. Alright, almost done. Where are we at? Oh man, thought I was almost done. Notice that curve went a little too far out, so I gotta adjust this handlebar. That's a little too far still. Let me go ahead and do it that way. There we go. And that's the end. Oh, so I'm all finished there, and so all I gotta do here is close the path. And now, notice it says close path. Now I have my little path here. Let's see. Oopsie. So, all right, cool. Um, Now, one thing that I can do is, yeah, create a vector mask out of this. All right. And you'll notice it has masked out the entire background. And that's how you use it. So now I got my little vector mask here, and if I deselect that, and you can see there's the edges, got my little wrinkles. Those look pretty good. Look over here. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, it'll do. Um, yeah, and there you go. So hopefully that helps. Sorry it was so long, but yeah, that is how you use the pen tool to make one of these a little more complicated selections in Photoshop. Thanks.